Good evening, everybody. It's good to be with you this evening. I know this is the second evening video I've done in a few days, so I apologize for it being late. But today's video is not brought to you by travel or lack of sleep. It's brought to you by our friends at Time Warner Cable. So we're good. We're back up and online now, which is a good thing. Today we're in Proverbs 28, and I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about a couple of the verses in here. Verse 11 says, "The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has understanding sees through him." And I feel like that verse really kind of encapsulates a lot of the lessons we learn in Proverbs. So, rich versus poor, and whether it's where that wealth comes from is important, and wisdom, where the source of your wisdom is, if it's wisdom from your own head or from human perspective, versus the poor who has understanding, which comes from the Lord, and which is better. Obviously, wisdom that comes from the Lord is better. And then the last piece, that the person who has understanding sees through him. Genuineness that comes from a relationship with the Lord is what helps us to see through people who don't have that relationship, who are wise in their own eyes, but they don't have the wisdom of the Lord. So I really kind of felt like that verse was good because it encapsulated so many different lessons from Proverbs. But the one that I really want to hit on today is verse 9. It says, "He who turns away his ear from listening to the law, even his prayer is an abomination." And when I read that, it's a hard thing to read, but it makes so much sense. God speaks to us through His Word, right? The law, His Word. God speaks to us. He talks to us through the Word. And if we're not willing to be in the Word, reading the Word, listening to Him speak to us, then why would we expect Him to listen to us when we talk to Him? And I know He is a loving God, and He gets it more than we could ever get it. But it says that even His prayer is an abomination, those who don't listen to the law. So I just want to encourage you to be spending time in the Word, and if you feel like your prayers are not being answered, or if you feel like God is not listening to you at times, I would encourage you to dive into the Word and listen to Him first. And you may be surprised how quickly you hear from Him. Would you pray with me? Father, thank you for giving us your Word, for speaking to us through the words that you have divinely inspired. Help us to listen to you first and then communicate with you often. Amen.